Let's begin this video by talking about what your 4-month-old baby can do. This is a fun stage because the baby can now giggle. They love to interact and turn to you when you speak. Verbally, they cannot say any words yet, but they make longer, cooing sounds and they babble. How cute is that? They can reach for toys with one hand and can bring their hands to the mouth. At this stage, when you put the baby on their stomach, they can lift their chest up using their elbows and their wrists. Also, they can turn from their belly to their back. So this is a time when you cannot leave them alone at all on your bed because they can roll and fall. This is the start where they become more mobile. Watch out, moms and dads. Your baby's motor skills are gearing up for them to start moving a lot more, and the potential for falls and injuries will increase. Before we move on, let me say this is part 4 of the 7-part series of a baby's 1-year well visits. I will cover all the aspects of a baby's doctor visit and give you, parents and caregivers, information on all the milestones achieved and the immunizations the baby receives. You don't have to write anything down. You can always come back to this video right before the visit to make sure you are covering all the bases. As always, length, weight, and head circumference will be measured and plotted on the World Health Organization growth chart. This is the best way to gauge your baby's nutrition and calorie intake. Whatever discrepancies that will appear on the growth chart will be discussed so you can make actionable plans to support your baby's growth and development. Parents, this is a time to voice your concerns if you have any. Firstly, are you adapting well with the baby? Are there any conflicts that arise since the baby came? How is the relationship between you, parents? Moms, are you feeling depressed or anxious? As I have mentioned in my previous well visit videos, a mother's overall health is as important as the baby's. If you are struggling mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially, there is help available for you. Be honest and seek help when needed. Do not keep everything to yourself. Sometimes it is difficult to share very personal information to a stranger. Postpartum depression is a medical diagnosis and there are treatments specific for the condition, so seek professional help. Now, if there are some developmental milestones your baby's not meeting, mention it during this visit. This is the best time to discuss any questions you have and make sure you come prepared so you will get the best out of every visit that you do. I believe one of the important points to make is how parents respond to a baby's needs. Do you have a fussy or a calm baby? Do you know your baby's temperament? Are you now more familiar with what your baby's cry means? Babies look upon the people who give them comfort and love. When a baby cries and parents know how to attend to those specific needs, bonding and attachment grows. Responding to those needs promotes a healthy attachment where babies learn to trust and results in fostering better relationships in the future. Spend quality time talking, interacting, and playing with your little one. Make time to play and interact with your baby uninterrupted. Active play is as important as quiet playtime. Active playtime includes tummy time, fun exercises, and anything involving physical play. And quiet playtime includes cuddling, talking, singing, and reading. Spending a few hours each day intentionally will definitely promote mental and emotional skills. Please, moms and dads, avoid TV and other digital media. You are not giving your baby any advantage from these activities. It affects a baby's sleep and attention, as well as it contributes to poor language development. Make sure you are implementing routines for bedtime, feeding, and nap times. Babies thrive when they follow a routine. Not only that, parents as well will have a better grasp of what the day looks like with a baby if routines are developed early on. Routines are a vital part of the baby's development. Now let's revert to some physical changes at this stage. When you look at your baby's gums, what do you see? You might not see anything unusual, or you might. Do you see anything popping out of the baby's gums? There is no specific time for the baby's first tooth to erupt. All babies are different. Some are even born with it. But if you see some redness where the teeth are supposed to come through, which is the center of the bottom of the gums, your baby is teething. Other signs of teething you may see in your baby are pulling on the ear, increased fussiness, and inability to sleep well, low-grade fever, some drooling, and chewing on toys, blankets, or anything they can put on their mouth. One way to help your baby at this stage is to give teething rings. Some of these you can put in the fridge to make it cool. Never put teething rings in the freezer because it will get frozen and hard, potentially injuring your baby's gums. Do not introduce frozen fruits yet, as solid foods are introduced later, at least at 6 months of age. If you see the baby's teeth come out, it is time to start oral health. Clean the teeth and gums with tap water and a tiny, tiny smidge of a fluoride toothpaste, maybe twice a day. You can use like a small, soft toothbrush, or you can use a clean washcloth, wrap it around your finger, and then clean the baby's gums with it. Massaging the gums and frequent feeding can help giving baby to the comfort as well. If your baby uses a pacifier, make sure you wash them at all times. These pacifiers fall from the mouth frequently and get dirty, so make it a habit to constantly wash them pacifiers. Now let's talk about feeding. If you are breastfeeding, continue to do so. You can breastfeed exclusively at least for 6 months. Breastfeed every 3 to 4 hours. You want to make sure your baby is getting enough nutrition and getting all the benefits from the breast milk. Your baby is not ready for solids yet. This will be introduced later when the baby turns 6 months old. Don't forget to give vitamin D drops, and the dose is 400 international units per day. Moms, eat a healthy diet, fruits, vegetables, whole grains. Take your multivitamins and iron supplements if needed. If you're getting ready to go back to work, this is the best time to start pumping and saving breast milk. I made a video about pumping and saving breast milk, so I will not cover that here, but make sure you check it out. There are times when your baby seems more hungry than usual. If the baby is showing hunger cues, go ahead and get them on the breast. In the first year of life, there are a ton of motor and cognitive skills they need to develop. And with these, they need all the nutrition they can get to support that development or growth spurts. Again, all babies are different. They don't have similar trajectories when it comes to growth and development. So listen to what your baby is trying to tell you. If your baby's wanting to nurse more, so be it. It only means the baby is undergoing growth spurts and needs more food to support that. For bottle feeding babies, feed 30 to 32 ounce of iron fortified formula in 24 hours. Feed 8 to 12 times a day. If you cannot afford to buy baby formula, contact your local WIC. Do not prop the bottle in bed. When feeding, you should hold your baby where the head is higher than the body in an upright position. Burp the baby halfway and at the end of the feeding. Monitor for excessive spit-ups and projectile vomiting after feedings. Report to the doctor if the baby is doing so. I'm going to remind you again of the importance of car seats. Use a rear-facing car seat, and it should be installed or placed in the back seat. Parents or caregivers, please use seatbelt when driving. Don't drink and drive, and do not use illicit drugs. Babies should be sleeping on their back, never on their stomach, or not on their side either. Do not use loose blankets or clothing. These are the recommendations to prevent sudden infant death syndrome. Avoid drinking hot liquids and avoid performing any chores that involves messing with extremely hot temperatures when you're holding your baby. No smoking around the baby, or please, no smoking at all. Take all the precautions to avoid burn risk. Don't leave your baby alone in high places like changing tables, sofas, your beds, etc. Make sure to implement touch supervision where one of your hands is always on the baby when reaching for something. Avoid choking hazards, like letting your baby play with small toys or objects that they can put in their mouth and swallow. Avoid suffocation hazards, like playing with plastic bags. And last but not the least, for sure, avoid infant walkers. Before I proceed and talk about the 4-month baby shots, let me touch more on the infant walkers. The American Academy of Pediatrics supports the ban on the manufacture and sale of infant walkers in the United States. Almost 250,000 injuries were reported from 1990 to 2014 of children less than 15 months of age who were treated in the emergency department for infant walker-related injuries. Check out the AAP website and you will be able to read more on this study. Head, neck, and body injuries resulting from falls, among others, were reported. And that is a significant number. The walkers, especially the ones with wheels, are not safe because a baby can travel fast regardless of the parents watching. Babies also have access to things they are not supposed to reach if they are in the walkers, like a hot stove, heavy things on top of a table, sharp objects, electrical outlets, small appliances, and a lot more. Also, it doesn't help the baby to develop the motor skill needed for walking because the parents are skipping the baby's ability for the babies to push themselves up and how to balance themselves and walk independently without any use of any device. So moms and dads, skip the walkers, please. A thorough physical examination is done and the doctor will discuss any abnormalities seen and talk to you about the plan of care or any of the follow-up and referrals if needed. Before the visit concludes, the 4-month vaccines will be given by the medical assistant or the nurse, and these are as follows. The baby's 4-month shots are similar to the 2-month shots, whereas they get the units, which is a combination of the hepatitis B, polio vaccine, and the DTaP, which is this is the second dose, the PCV13, the second dose of the pneumococcal vaccine, the Hib, the second dose of Haemophilus influenza, and Rotarix, the second dose of the rotavirus vaccine. Again, this is a total of 3 shots and 1 given through the mouth or oral route. A slight fever is normal and so is tenderness and redness on the injection site. So you can apply cold compress on the injection site, and for fever you can do a cool sponge bath. Feeding more frequently and lots of cuddling will help comfort your baby too. Ask your doctor if it's okay to give acetaminophen or Tylenol and how much dose you can give. Any alarming signs and symptoms? Please call the pediatrician. Before you leave the office, make sure to make an appointment for the 6-month well baby visit. By now, you should know how to reach the doctor for emergencies. Check with the office if they have an on-call provider after office hours. I hope you find great value in our video for today. Please click on the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Be well, everyone. Make this day count and happy watching!